Okay, everybody. It's me, E-Man. We just got done watching Dunkirk. Spoiler alert. Spoiler
wiping his head.
alert. This is the spoiler discussion for Dunkirk. I am joined by my man, Harry Egbo. He's not a movie guy, but he's a good enough movie guy, so his opinion counts. And I also have the talented, wonderful Don Shanahan.
Hey,
Don, let the people know where you're from and how they can get you.
Sure, Don Shanahan. Everymoviehasalesson.com. Search that on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Chicago Independent Film Critics Circle. And yeah, this was something to watch.
Okay, like I said, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about Dunkirk. This is Christopher Nolan, the great Christopher Nolan's latest project. And I have to say, I am very underwhelmed.
Let's say it like this. You call the man great. Are you the kind of critic that gives people passes because of, like, is greatness a permanent ID card you get to carry in your wallet?
No, greatness doesn't give you a hall pass for everything and anything.
I am
especially
the same
not
way.
with films.
I am the same way.
This movie doesn't tarnish his legacy in any way, shape, or form. However, this is probably, in my opinion, his worst movie to date. And I mean, I've been following him since Memento.
Yes, sir.
I followed, like, you know, even some of his more complex movies, like Inception and Interstellar. I mean, in terms of, like, trying to conceptually grasp the things that he tries to do.
What was his previous low for you? Going down the resume.
I would have to look down the list. But, like, even his lows were still great to me.
I agree.
You know,
like, he doesn't miss too many free throws.
And I wonder if Interstellar might have been that.
Oh,
I wonder if it was. But I really like Interstellar.
I really like Interstellar.
But I also understand that Interstellar it tried to go a little bit above and beyond.
The Matt Damon heel turn bothered me in that movie immensely.
Just the whole fact that this
WWE stuff.
This tried to go like college level physics instead of just giving us little advanced high school physics. But anyway, it's neither here or there.
Let's dive in.
Let's go over what we liked about this movie first of all. So the main thing I think that it did very well, there were a lot of moments of suspense.
Absolutely.
The intensity was at an all-time high. Oh, yeah. I mean, there was always a sense of peril, sense of danger, which is what I think is essential with any war-type movie.
And I'll even give him extra credit of being really true to the history of what this story is. The hopelessness and desperation of this siege, the importance and the absolute hope that was given to the 400,000 men on that beach by the little ships from England that all came over on their own to do this. And like when you put how bleak that situation is with the enemy completely all around you, like that, there's peril in the setting. And then peril in the story.
Hold on. Now, you're probably more knowledgeable about the background of the story.
Yeah.
Let our viewers know, what was the background, what was the situation, what was the setting, because I'm walking into this kind of new. I just want the movie to tell me the story, but give the people a little background
I got your
what
thumbnail
Dunkirk
here.
was all about.
I got your thumbnail here. Dunkirk is the northernmost French city, 10 miles from the border of Belgium. There's nowhere you can run further without crossing over a border that's controlled by something else. 400,000 men have been pushed to the beaches and the shorelines there by the German forces that have completely surrounded that area and have laid siege to that with the intent of moving in. Now, there are British defenses that are keeping them on the outskirts of where that city is, but it's weakening and failing, and every chance that the British and French have to evacuate are either kind of sunk or attacked by U-boats and bombers and fighters in the area. So you have 400,000 men stranded with very little resources and very little time on a beach. The British know that across the way, and either lose your 400,000 person army to a slow siege of fish in the barrel attacks, or you got to send help. So the people of Britain, requisitioned by the military and by Churchill, sent a fleet of, if I remember correctly, 200 boats of civilian boats to go get these soldiers, either to act as ferries to be able to approach this tide-bearing beach, to get them to the larger boats that can take them home, or to take them home altogether. History will tell you that 330,000 men of the 400,000 made it off this beach, thanks to the efforts of obviously the British military, but hugely by what has been known as the little ships of Dunkirk. all these civilian boats that came in and kind of saved the day. And that story is, we don't have, I mean, I don't have an American equivalent here, you know, but that idea of kind of national sovereignty of let's go get our boys in this massive rescue effort across the English Channel is huge. It's colossal. It's historic, and it's a big deal because that enabled us to, or us, I should say, the British and the French, to yes, retreat but rebound, and not lose this war in the first 2 years of the war. I mean, this is 1940. They wouldn't cross that channel again with an offensive until 4 years later with D-Day. So this enabled them to have that rebound and not lose right there on that beach.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Don.
And your homework and the quiz will be on Friday.
Hey, you know what? I take what I said back. I think his lowest movie was Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
That was probably not his best. It wasn't the best of the trilogy. But again, for what he has put out, Nolan knows how to put out good quality stuff. All right.
And it's not that this isn't quality.
No, to me, this was a very technically sound movie.
Oh, yeah.
The visuals were amazing. I thought that the camera work, especially in the boats, all the time the boats were like about to sink.
And, you're on.
I mean, like
turning it.
You felt there. If you feel motion sickness at sea, like this might not be the best movie for you.
But this isn't shaky cam Blair Witch. This is a claustrophobic camera.
Yeah, it's very tight knit, very practical shots.
Yeah.
I love the cockpit shots in the airplane. Yeah. I mean, I felt like I was in the cockpit as the pilot myself.
Yeah. These are the loudest damn gun squibs I've ever heard in a movie.
Yeah.
Shaking your balls, man.
It's like they shot real guns.
Yeah.
There were no fake guns.
No. These are movie little ping pings.
Yeah,
these are boom.
The sound was probably so
dialed to
impeccable.
12. Oh, yeah.
You know, in terms of like giving you that real feeling of what war would sound like if we were there.
In slow moments and in fast moments. Because like when those boys are trying to hide in that little blue boat and just each one of those bullets would come through and just
I mean, you
it
hear
hits,
that and the
and
ping.
then it echoes.
Yeah.
And then it's the weight and then it's the breathing and then it's the elevated heart rate. And if that's not shaking your seat, Hans Zimmer scores right there to do the same thing. Because there's not a lot of dialogue in this film.
There really isn't.
Where
a lot
his
of dialogue.
score does so much of the talking, or at least so much of the heartbeat of the film.
You know what? No, that's a really good point because I thought that this was one of those times where I paid more attention to the score because I felt like the score was telling me exactly when to feel, how to feel at certain moments. I mean, like,
and not in a brassy traditional way.
No.
This is a very TikTok kind of score.
No, you know what? I think it is a little brassy because when the rescue ships come in,
that's the one time it elevates.
Well, no,
before then
there were some other points where, like, anytime there was like a sense of danger.
Well, you
heard the big ball.
Like the Inception sound.
Yeah, the Inception sound. Right.
But different than Interstellar, where it's church organ. You know, different than that.
I mean, at the end of the day, like Hans Zimmer told me the story more than I think the characters did,
which is the same man.
And that gets me into one issue that I have.
Yeah.
Which was, and I'm, maybe call me Western American or whatever, biased. The accents had an issue for me. I couldn't really follow a lot of the things that they were saying.
I felt the same way.
You did? Okay. Because I like a lot of foreign films where I can get.
I mean, this is Snatch with really bad Cockney Brad Pitt accents, but it's thick.
The thick
and then all the
English
sound
accents. I was kind of what ended up happening was it took me out of the sense of danger and sense of urgency.
Because you paused to say, "What'd he say? What'd he say?"
Yeah, because like when some of the generals or lieutenants or whoever were like, "Well, this and this is happening on the west, and this," I'm sitting here trying to figure out the details, but I can't even do that because I'm trying to figure out what words did he actually say. So that kind of got to me a little bit with the language barrier.
Which is hard in a movie that does not have a lot of dialogue and exposition.
Tom Hardy brought back the Bane voice.
He also brought back Mad Max where he had about 4 lines.
Yeah, a couple grunts here and there.
That's it.
Grunts, breathing hard.
You could probably tally mark the number of words he said on a very small post-it note.
Yeah. Now, in terms of time marks. Now, this is the other issue I had was the time marking. In the very beginning, we do get, the mole 1 week. The sea 1 day. And then
translate that
the
for you.
air 1 hour. Now, I understand much later in the movie that what Nolan was trying to communicate was the time elapse.
Right.
Right.
Like, on the shore of the Mole,
Sure.
which is the nickname for the beach,
Right.
it took them 10 days to leave Dunkirk.
Right.
So that's a week.
Right.
The sea, it takes those boats a day to cross
Sure.
the channel. And then for a jet who's faster, it takes them 3 hours to cross
Sure.
the channel.
And
So,
you know,
but I didn't, and I know that because of just geography, but yeah.
See, and for me,
That's good.
I'm thinking if we're talking about in movie world, right, with general audiences and stuff, you do need to kind of hold my hand a little bit, given the fact that we have to absorb so much other stuff.
It's there's a level of Inception here where it's like those Dream Within a Dreams and the huge big climax of Inception where one of them is moving the van coming off the bridge, which takes 30 seconds, but we're stretching it out to a week.
And don't get me wrong,
and days. So it's that three-layer thing.
I get it. I get the whole intersection of the different cross of the stories, but I don't think it was I don't think it was executed well.
No.
And the fact that I had to sit here and I'm like, wait a minute. So that guy that was stranded and he got rescued on the boat.
Yeah, when I saw it,
he was.
We
on
looked
the
at each
beach
other when to see Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
We're like, what the fuck is Cillian Murphy
Right.
doing here?
And I was like, wait, is this a flashback? Or wait, no, we're caught up in present time now. And then later, once we start
takes
seeing
you out too.
The other ones, like I felt as though Nolan gets in this habit where sometimes he's too smart for his own audience.
Oh, he is.
And I think what he ended up doing was like, you know what? I'm the master of time manipulation, which he is in movies.
I call it a Mobius strip.
But I think he messed this one up.
It's not the place for it.
I don't think this one
the place
translated very well. And I think that by the time it does register with you, you're almost a little too distracted from everything else that's going on.
It also felt repetitious. Like, I was talking to you two because we all saw this film together and reacted about it together. When we watched Sully with Tom Hanks last fall, and how we reenact that 2.5 minute crash 3 times, maybe 4.
That was a really
where you're like, all right, I get it. I see it once. You gave it to me full bodied once.
Yeah.
Give me hints and clues to it later because the hints and clues serve the plot and all that. And this film does a bit of that where you don't see the ending of every little piece of this wrapping time until you get to the next setting to see it play through.
Yeah,
you know,
you get a small overlap with just a little bit of a time delay.
Yeah,
but so you see how it connects, but
it's almost squeezing. Because this is also his shortest film yet.
It is.
If you told this story straight with no overlap, this is a 70-minute film.
It is.
Tops. You know, so maybe he didn't have enough, and we are getting cute.
I'm not mad about that though. Like I'm okay with him giving us the different perspectives. But like, kind of like how Harry was saying earlier, the editing was kind of questionable with this.
See, that's my culprit. Is this the editing, or is this Nolan on the written page doing too much?
Well, you have to give it to you got to give it to Nolan.
To be fair, as the common consumer, because that's what I consider myself. I'm not a critic. You guys go way too deep. From my feel, what I think Nolan is trying to do, something I notice in war movies, it's always one main guy you focus around.
Sure.
Then everyone else has somewhat equal parts as expendable, but it makes it very predictable.
Sure.
Giving this as a retelling of a historical film, and from what I felt Nolan was trying to do, there was no real main character.
No.
Which made everyone expendable.
Everybody was a composite. Like, no one there is a historical figure. They're all composites of, if I was in this part of the Dunkirk story, this is maybe what would have happened.
But does that work for war movies?
Ooh, because now we're back to fact-checking and grains of salt and fictitious retelling, dramatic license.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. What I'm saying is, as a filmmaker, you're talking to us, the audience, right? So it's not like, it's almost like if I were to just walk in here and tell everybody a story without looking at who I'm talking to. And I felt like this is kind of what Nolan did. He didn't want to tell us or give us something to latch on to, because like I told you before,
get invested in
you couldn't get, exactly.
But I get the reasons why. He's taking a new approach.
Yep.
Even though this is already reported, someone not knowing coming in is like, who's going to die? Oh, I thought that guy was the main character. Now we're focusing on Harry Styles. Oh, he's not. Now we're focusing on Tom Hardy. So everyone's expendable. So that kind of helped.
I like that because no big stars.
See, now, look.
Other than Tom Hardy.
No. There's a difference between not having a big name star, which I'm totally fine with, versus having the focus on certain characters for us to get invested in. The only person that I could think we had an investment in was the main kid that made it throughout the beginning.
Tommy, I guess.
Tommy or whatever his name is.
If we ever heard.
And the thing is, it's like
I gave up on him halfway.
I gave up on him too.
Harry Styles because he's the only one talking.
Once he hitched into a groove,
right?
You know?
Because and
obviously he's away from Mark Rylance's boat where a lot of that other stuff happens.
But this was also the reason why, like, I felt like he, there is that. I would say formula where you do have to focus on someone to get the audience invested, but when you try and play like everyone's a composite or everyone is just part of the bigger story, you can't do both at the same time. And he did tricky. That. And the reason
you need
why
an anchor.
You need an anchor.
Yeah,
and the thing is, when he was pulling Tommy, we'll call him, when they were pulling him out of the oil, and we found out because they were pulling him for a while, and we were like, who are they pulling? Oh, it's Tommy.
Yeah.
I didn't give two shits.
No one did.
I didn't know who it was.
I thought he died.
Because half of these
you're
guys...
You're supposed to, though, That's, if that's the one we're supposed to.
Exactly.
Where's the
feels, I don't want to sound racist, but a lot of them looked alike with all their just white, brunette hair, young, skinny kids. Like, I couldn't always tell until the camera focused, and I was like, oh, it's that character. Oh, it's that guy.
I mean, that style makes it hard to get in. Like when
is that intentional needle in the haystack stuff? Because that's the
unknown
story, nameless war.
No, if your story is not big enough, then it is necessary.
I'm with you.
It is necessary, and the reason why I say that is because we had so many pockets of really intense, dangerous moments that were happening. I mean, like edge of your seat, thrilling, exciting, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it came to like the actual rescue.
Yeah,
I was kind of like, I don't think the payoff was enough.
No, there's no triumph there. It's just little boats came, they helped, and they go.
I get the little.
And you got Tom. Tom's your payoff.
I mean, I get that. Tom was the payoff.
Tom Hardy doing superhero work with a plane is your payoff.
Man, I've never seen a glider glide that.
Not since like the Thomas Crown affair.
It's not just the bolts at the end that you couldn't get invested in. It's the kid dying in the beginning. He was the one that introduced the boat. The cameras focused on him, then he died, and no one cared.
Robert,
first mate guy.
Robert.
Because all of a sudden the attention switched to the blonde hair.
Unemotional death.
I don't know why I was supposed to care about
everything. Was unemotional except
because we didn't have time to
to
get to know him. All we got to know was that he was an innocent kid. He just wanted to make a name for himself. He wanted to contribute however he did.
I want to do something.
Then the way he died,
I want to get my face in the paper.
Yeah, and I felt like the blonde kid that was taking care of him he ended up taking
fantastic.
More.
I wouldn't say credit. Shown, and all of a sudden, now he's the main.
So now it's like I don't really care about Robert because the other friend ended up doing more, had more engagement, had more dramatic, impact.
It also doesn't help for me that Mark Rylance is just such a blank piece of toast as an actor.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was not a fan of him in Bridge of Spies. He stole the Oscar from Stallone.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. That was the dad, right?
It's they're both Captain Dad.
Yeah.
So like if that's going to be that's your I know. So if that's going to be your face of this movement or this piece of the trio of the story. I need somebody more enigmatic than Mark Rylance.
He seemed like there was more to him.
Yeah, because
we never got there.
Or it's so weakly done because it's Mark.
I mean, like, if anything, he's supposed to be the face of the rescue.
He's supposed to be the face of the rescue.
He's our anchor to the rescue.
I'm going to
keep going. I'm just going to go.
We should go.
And I don't think that was driven home
I need more oorah there.
Yeah, I don't think they did.
Even for movie version, I need an oorah.
They still didn't accurately explain how Cillian Murphy ended up on top of the boat for them to even find him.
I was wondering about that too because I kept thinking like,
which boat was he that
doing?
Like I figured we watched him sinking. Right.
I thought one of the pilots was going to crash, and he just happened to, get on top.
And that's why I blame editing. There's like a deleted scene missing. He should have.
Right. Because if you're going to drop in Murphy and still show how you save the one pilot and how Tom Hardy's there every time, then you need to show where Murphy is, or you're playing.
I mean, but they tried to show that by just giving a quick flashback, but I didn't care. I didn't even know where that was in time. Like, it did not make sense to me.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
Again, that's why I blame editing. The editing kind of messed a lot of stuff up because some stuff came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember saying, "Oh man, this part's corny and cheesy."
Yeah.
I just remember saying, "Where did this part come from?" That's it, and that's why I have to blame editing.
No, I mean, and you do have to put that on Nolan.
It starts with Nolan in the written page.
Because at the end of the day, this is his baby.
His plan, his baby.
He wrote it. He wrote it. He directed it. Whoever edited it, I'm more than positive he had final say on what was going to be shown.
That's the thing.
So if that's what he thought was okay, he missed something.
Yeah.
He missed something with that. Do you guys think that
he isn't really the best editor?
More timestamps would have helped? Like if we actually got more real-time timestamps, something.
The passage of time, even
5 hours later,
even the passage of time for the boat. Like, you know, like how long have they been out there? You know, no one's sleeping. We're just driving through the night, huh? You know, or yeah, maybe.
And I feel bad that
would have helped. Do you need that ticking clock in the corner?
You don't need a ticking clock, but I think a couple
like a 24 episode right here.
A couple reminders. Not that much. I mean, a couple reminders I think would have helped. But not only that, because
the timeline thing they were trying to do to go back.
Well,
I think if you start the ticking clock,
it takes away from the mystery he's trying. It would take away from him
because there's no intensity.
But you set it up. You set it up from the beginning when you said, the mole.
Your gas level gauge is on a timestamp?
When the second you do a flashback, you give the audience clues. This is how you fix things. So you take away the whole element of this needs to be done intensity. The first time you do a flashback, I know what to do. So there's no need for intense because they're going to accomplish it.
Yeah, okay.
That's why it's like...
All right, fine. No subs, no timestamps. I mean, look, there were a couple touching moments in the movie,
yeah, I mean,
right?
when those boats show up and those men cheer, which is, again, pretty darn historically accurate.
I felt like it had trouble ending.
Well,
I
can tell you right now what he meant to end on, and it's our main guy Tommy reading it is Churchill's speech after the successful rescue of Dunkirk was the moment when, holy cow, Winston Churchill is the man who's going to steer us through this. That's his greatest speech.
Which
I hope Dunkirk speech.
I hope Gary Oldman.
He does. It's already in the trailer.
Okay, I was about to say I hope that's in there.
Wait, what?
Gary Oldman's playing Churchill.
In the movie?
No.
In a separate
movie.
Yeah. But
I just wanted them to focus on.
But that Churchill speech, we'll fight him on the beaches, we'll fight him on the docks, we'll fight him on the landing. Like that speech, that's your Bill Pullman real life speech. It's one of the greatest rally speeches of all time. And it ends. Now, would I rather heard that from a voiceover from Churchill and not our guy Tommy reading the paper? That's going to swell my volume hard more than. But I get the personal. It's one of England's citizens reading those words and knowing I'm going to stay in this war. Like I get why.
Is that what that was? Is that what that was? That's what that feeling was.
That's
like
supposed to be what that.
I'm reinvigorated.
While Harry Styles chugging a beer next to him, not caring. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what it's supposed to be. I don't think it does it very well.
All right, I guess. Let me ask you guys something. Why the hell didn't Tom Hardy glide to safety?
You can't steer a plane. He's lucky he steered as far as he did.
He steered the plane enough to shoot down the other plane.
Yeah, and
we shut down too.
We had our Memphis Belle moment of lower the landing gear too.
He took out the first plane.
But that was out in sea. The other one was already coming for the
docks again.
The beach.
Yeah.
So he just so happened to make it.
Yeah, sneaky too because he can sneak up with no engine sound.
Right. So he was quiet as hell.
Yeah. But still miraculous.
To me, I'm just like, okay, I get it. You're gliding. Your engines are out. First of all, why didn't you use your parachute? Second of all,
the survival rate of parachute's not pretty.
Fine. Fine. But why didn't you glide in circles as all these other boats and stuff are there, kind of sort of rescuing people? I would have rather been lost at sea rather than getting captured.
It felt like he couldn't steer.
That's the thing. Like once you turn a plane that has no engine like that, you're at the mercy of your momentum in the wind. Like I don't know how well you can swirl that.
And I'll buy
before
that.
You hit the wrong gust and your nose down in the ocean, and then you're not making it.
I'll buy that, but then I don't understand how
you don't get your heroic landing.
Yeah, I don't get
and your Memphis Belle getting the landing gear down.
The landing I'm fine with. I just don't get how did he happen to maneuver to come because he was approaching. He was approaching
to
the
make
seashore.
Any kind of dogfighting move to shoot another plane down with no engine.
Right.
Is miraculous.
I mean, he was approaching the seashore, and then he turned around to shoot down the other one. So I'm like, if you were able to turn around and shoot down the other plane, how the hell were you not able to turn around and go?
Maybe it's elevation, because if you swirl that's a MythBuster episode. I'm wondering.
Look, hey, whatever. I'll chalk it up to I don't know.
I think you also get your. It's your hero moment still. It's your awesome landing. It's your walk out of the plane and rip your gear off, and I'm fucking Tom Hardy. You know, the mask comes off, and there's my face that I haven't said 4 words in all movie. Yeah. And by the way, I get to go be a POW and be the cast member of The Great Escape with Steve McQueen. Because you know he's going to get sent to friggin' Auschwitz or something.
Yeah. Like, he's done. He's done.
There's a chance he is. But to save his fellow comrades.
Sure.
Like, not everyone makes it out of that siege.
Yeah, I mean, he made a couple good decisions.
Where they don't give him
Something I didn't like. They sold the high tide when it was high. Like, that's why the bodies kept coming back. Now it's going to be harder to get off the island on regular rafts. All of a sudden, they're in the boat. Everyone's damn near getting off, and they're, halfway in the sea? Like, I thought we had high tide. What just happened?
I don't know.
And I feel like Nazis aren't going to take advantage of everyone damn near giving up on us. That's what I did. In the beginning, I was like, all right, they still have their guns. If they need to, they'll fight. Towards the end, it was weird, because it was like, a bunch of people on the beach, not a bunch of people on the beach.
Yeah.
A bunch of people on the beach, not a bunch of people on the beach.
Because
no Germans in sight to shoot.
Yeah.
Not a bunch of people. Oh, a bunch of people on the beach. Where are the Germans?
There's a piece of that timing, and because true story is 10 days. It took 10 days to get all those boys out of there. That's several trips of these boats not one.
I just didn't understand.
You saw wave number 1 for movie's sake, and not driving back 6 times.
I saw the dude kill himself with no one on the beach. It's like, why doesn't he just go where everyone else is?
Look, let me tell you something. I think the number one barometer for any war movie to really gauge its success is how it made you feel afterwards. I don't care about Dunkirk. I'm sorry. I don't care. Let me tell you this. When we saw Hacksaw Ridge, I cared more about that than I care about Dunkirk.
And I don't like Hacksaw Ridge.
I'm sorry, but I'm not saying it's a better movie.
But I get the care level.
I'm just saying,
I get what you're saying.
If you're going to put somebody in war,
very much so.
You follow Garfield before
I don't need 5 minutes. I don't need 45 minutes of hayseed boot camp. Like, throw me into battle, and I care about Garfield enough because he's not there with a gun. I mean, but this movie is better than Hacksaw Ridge, but not the impact.
Okay, and that brings me to my overall point, which is I think this movie was technically sound. If we're in a film school, we're getting an A+ for this. However, with the general test, I don't think it passes.
Now, are we also? I feel like we're also a little bit mad of a lot of the foot off neck moments. For example, the beginning started off high pressure, high intensity. He's with 4 other people. You don't know. They start shooting.
That was a great
Everyone
opening.
dies.
I like the opening.
So now you have a lot of these setups that were kind of like that, but then just anticlimactic.
Yeah.
The plane coming at the boat, and nothing happened.
There were a lot of payoffs that just never really happened.
Setups that nothing happened.
Or it's delayed because of the wrapping of time.
Right.
You know?
I mean, some more money, like the torpedo hitting the boat. You felt that, like, all right, everything's too calm. Torpedo hit the boat, like, yes. Then other times you felt like, everything's too calm.
Was there ever a moment of rest in this film?
You know what?
There
were a couple, but the thing is, it was like every time you wanted to get comfortable, it was like, here comes some bullets, or here comes a sound, or here comes a horn, or something. It was like, that's why I didn't really know when the hell the movie was going to end. It wasn't until they were on the train I was like, okay, now I think we're safe.
Made it. Yeah.
But at the same time, I was just kind of like, is there ever a moment that they... And here's the thing. They don't need it. We don't really need
we know
that
the war keeps
because
going.
It's war, right? War,
like, this is 5 more years of this.
This is what causes people to have PTSD, so it's fine that they didn't have that. But, yeah, I mean, if you want me to care about this war as much as you, Christopher Nolan, who directed it, you didn't make me care.
Well, let me ask the clickbait article question here. And I was kind of framing my review tonight, and it's actually the lead of my review when I get home and I write it. Nolan recently addressed claims by critics that they have called him emotionless in his films, and I'm one of those people that disagrees. Like there's moments that grab me in Memento and Inception. Sure. Like I see more emotion than lack of emotion. Then I get to this film and I go, oh crap. Are the snobby critics that call him emotionless right for one film?
I mean, I don't think he's made emotional films.
I'm bawling my eyes out watching Interstellar like a blubbering mess.
I see concepts.
See, like, even in Interstellar, I saw moments because of the whole dad thing, right?
Well, even the wife stuff in Inception gets me. The slow-boiling rage of revenge in Memento gets me. The jealousy and the prestige is strong. You know, there's strong emotions in these films.
I feel like the concept of
Batman
what those
gives me
are.
the superhero feels. When in Dark Knight Rises, when he's dragging that bomb out of the city and the music swells up and the kids on the bus and the kids on the bus that goes, he's Batman!
I didn't care.
And he saves the day in the last five minutes of the Dark Knight Rises are the best 5 minutes in that whole
The
show.
emotion goes away because you find out he escapes anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
First of all, I'm like, this is Batman. Like,
while you're there,
it's
awesome. While you're there, it all feels like, get him, Batman. You save that day, Christian.
No, hold on.
Freeman
Same
flashback.
exact scene.
I know.
Same exact characters. Same exact situation. I felt more for Chris Pine when he went and did it in Wonder Woman than I did for Batman. Because I knew Chris Pine wasn't going to make it. Batman, I didn't care what the hell happened. He was going to make it.
No, in the middle of the scene, Morgan Freeman was like, who fixed the, what's it called, self-destruct or whatever. Remember, in the middle of that whole emotional scene, who fixed the timer for the self-destruct? It's like, oh, they gave it away.
Yeah, it was your classic Nolan montage. He ends every movie with a montage, and we get another one here. A wrap-it-up montage.
You talking about critics. I'm sorry.
I don't know which critics. But
I don't know.
Nolan responded to the critics to say
that
he makes his movies. He doesn't want to be obvious when he makes his movies because he wants people to feel those things for themselves.
I don't think
because he's met people who have been bored. He's met people who ball their eyes out.
Nolan has always been more of a cerebral director than an emotional director. Like Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves can get emotion from me.
Oh no, more feels than Matt Reeves. Yeah,
because I mean, imagine if Nolan had done Planet of the Apes. It would have been a completely different movie.
Oh god,
you know what I'm saying? Like it just would have been. Even if you went off and axed off Caesar and all that, still wouldn't have been. You wouldn't have had the same impact.
I feel like if James Mangold did this movie, whole different movie. Wolverine directed.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely, because you're going to get, I think you'll get a quieter film.
You would also get a central figure, too.
You would. He would focus it around someone.
You would find one, yeah.
All right, so,
better than the ambiguous young, nondescript boy.
I mean, my only thing here is, like, I have a personal issue when I see and read all these reviews, 5 stars, 5 out of 5 stars. I don't see that.
Either.
I give it a 4.
I mean,
just off being Nolan.
And here's the thing. To me, I think if you love it, and even if you love Nolan, give it a 4 at the very best.
That's
at the very best. This does not deserve a 5.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I'm going in the 3 direction.
I know you are.
But I'm not giving it a 5. And it makes me almost look at certain reviews in a certain way to be like, what did you see that you didn't see any issues with this movie? Mm-hmm. That's what concerns me.
I agree.
Because if we're going to sit here and dog out, fake social media reviewers who are just fanboys to a certain clique and stuff, and that's fine. They have their thing, who aren't as historically accurate with their film knowledge and stuff. We need to call out film critics that are just so blind and biased that they can no longer be objective with this. This movie has a lot of strong points, but damn it, it has some flaws.
It does.
It is not a perfect film.
No. If I'm at a 4, it's because it helps that I know the history where I respect where
and that's fine.
And the technical quality is pretty sound.
I feel as though if I had that extra knowledge to it, I probably would be like, hey, you know what? They nailed this aspect. They got this. Yeah. But because I'm going into it without that background knowledge, and I don't have anything to latch on to.
Opening titles don't give you much.
They don't tell me anything. I'm sitting here like, where's Hitler? I don't know.
Let's put it in the let's just put it in the war genre.
Inglourious Bastards. He's not in this part of the war.
The war genre movie. Where does it rank? Is it better than Saving Private Ryan?
Well,
hell no.
Hold on.
I got that as a 5.
Now,
that's the ceiling.
To Nolan's credit,
Black Hawk Down is like right below.
No. Hold on. To Nolan's credit, he does not want this to be a war movie, and he said that explicitly. This is not a war movie.
Then what category?
He wants this to be a rescue movie.
That counts as that. This counts as a rescue.
I mean, and that's fine. It is.
It can be both.
Even though. When I see the trailer, I see a war movie.
Oh, yeah.
But for him, and I have to take a director at
remember,
his word.
This is National Story of Britain. This is a huge
at his word, he's saying this is not a war movie. So I don't think it'd be fair. I don't think it'd be fair to put it on the level of Saving Private Ryan
Saving Private Ryan, a rescue movie.
It is.
It's not there, though.
It is.
The consumer will see
it as a war movie.
And that's
movie
as
well. I feel like some critics are going to stick to the rescue, and I can see it. as a 5 for a rescue movie. There were
Really?
Because there were many rescue attempts, they just failed.
And the volume of what this story
is, it's a 5
regular
people to be more powerful.
It's a 5 rescue film, but it's a 3
I won't even give
film.
I'd give it a 4 rescue film, only because if you're telling me the rescue film is supposed to be the main angle, I should care more about the rescue.
Yeah,
when the rescue happened, I didn't care about it. Like, it was good. I was like, oh, this is great. Look at the little people. They were able to navigate around the big ship. That's wonderful. Look at the heart of the country.
Right.
But it didn't have the same payoff.
It did not.
If you're telling me this is a rescue movie. Yeah. Because if you're telling me it's a rescue movie, now I'm looking at Deepwater Horizon, and I want to see some people rescue.
Because you're right.
No, Hacksaw Ridge was more of a rescue movie.
It's a rescue movie.
The curve you guys are giving is going to be for rescue, but a consumer, I'm going to see this as a war movie.
Sure.
Going in as a war movie.
If you see it as a war movie as a consumer, it doesn't measure up.
No, it's like a 3.5 to 4.
If you go in
a critic on a rescue curve, I can see the 5.
Because it's not a 5.
But I can see. I'm not saying
Hacksaw Ridge was a better rescue movie.
I can see it.
Hacksaw Ridge was the epitome.
Chair moving over.
It was the epitome of a rescue movie.
I get that, but Hacksaw Ridge was about military people rescuing military.
It's also about pacifists.
This was trying to pitch everyday people.
Because it's one of the
everyday, right. This was trying to pitch that everyday people aspect being more powerful than the entire British military or whatever. And that's where the critic rescue research part comes from.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't give a shit about that. I'm not studying Dunkirk.
Well, here's how you know. Who gets the hero moment in this movie? The fighter pilot. Not the little man rescuer.
Right.
If you're gonna give, if this movie is a rescue movie,
and that's the thing,
Rylance should get the hero moment.
But that's the thing. If that's what you
Rylance
wanted to
goes
focus,
and rescues Tom Hardy out of the
if you
water,
wanted to
that's
finish
your
that,
hero moment.
No, absolutely. If you wanted to highlight the rescue aspect, that's where the movie should have ended.
Yep.
It should have ended there.
Or
we should have at
or
least
tell
had
this
Tom
whole
Hardy.
story boat only.
But here's the thing: if you wanted to show me Tom Hardy, show him to me earlier. Show me the impact that he does earlier. But if you really want me to have the gravitas of the civilians and all that, leave that towards the end.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's my lasting impression. At this point, I'm like, I just saw a Tom Hardy movie.
Should this movie for you have been like when Gandalf shows up at the end to save the day at the Two Towers? Like, should the civilian boats have been like at Helm's Deep?
Yeah, if you're telling me,
should the civilian boats be your surprise? Look who came! Oh my God, it's our country.
Sure.
Should that have been held and we leave Rylance and all that crap out of it?
I feel like it should have been tougher for the civilians. Like, if you're going to enter into war, this is why you should. They never sold that. It was, look at me.
Other than
blah,
picking
blah,
up a bed and
blah,
Murphy.
Safe.
Yeah. It looked like they were just going on.
Let's have some tea, guys.
This plane's not going to shoot us.
Hey guys, come on board. We got some blankets. Like,
right.
It was like it didn't feel.
Was it arduous for the rescuer?
It didn't feel like it.
It was arduous.
It
for
felt
the
like
survivors.
it felt like they were like, hey, you know what? We're going on a road trip. And we might pick up a couple soldiers along the way, guys.
That's what it felt like.
We got a couple of bottles of water here.
Right. Some tea,
and hey,
some life
let's
jackets.
go grab whoever we
Here's
can.
a blanket.
The only somewhat dangerous part for them was when the ship turned over and the oil's in the water.
Once you get close.
Like, where were the bullets of the plane? Like, oh, I'm going to kill all these. Because in reality, that's what happens in war. The plane's also going to try to shoot the people in the water.
Yeah, especially if you're the Germans dropping leaflets, twisting the knife. Like, you're not going to get off this island even if your people come and get you.
Yeah, they were saying
like, if you're a tough enough German, you're shooting everything.
But that's what the dad says on the boat. And he's like, oh, you know, they're going for bigger targets.
And I get, of course they are.
But, okay. All right.
It's still weak sauce.
Yeah. Harry, you're representing the average person here.
Always.
Do you recommend this to other people?
I do.
As a big screen experience, totally.
As
behind you, man.
As a summer movie, it doesn't live up to the hype from Nolan you expect.
Nope.
But to be fair, when you did see the Dunkirk trailers, you didn't know what to expect.
No,
so no one's going in thinking, oh man, this is going to be the next Dark Knight movie. They're going in, let's see what it's about. And I'm okay with saying it's a solid 4.
Me too.
But if you're going in and you know about the research and the history and what takes place, I can see you giving it a higher off that curve. But just regular blind consumer. What should I see in the movies today? I already saw Apes. Let's see Dunkirk today.
Ooh, that's a horrible follow-up. If you're watching this after Apes,
your feels go away.
I'd be mad.
Your feels go away.
Yeah, you would have to watch this first, and then go watch everything else that's come out.
This first, I saw Spider-Man: Homecoming. Let's see something more serious that's newer.
No.
Right, like this is.
I would watch this first and then Spider-Man for something lighthearted. Yeah.
For people who need something more highbrow instead of Transformers or something, some are lame. Yeah. It's a 4 for me too. I bet Carrie on this.
Because Nolan's thing, unlike a lot of other directors, he always wants you to think concepts. This wasn't anywhere near one of his highest concepts as far as conception, but he's
or he's trying to apply his high concept in the wrong place.
Exactly.
Because we don't think.
But it still made you think, and it's your typical Nolan approach, but not your typical Nolan feeling when it's done.
No,
but it was
that whole.
And I think, I mean, okay, so the question now is, do you grade Nolan against Nolan?
That's what we're doing.
Is that what we have to do? And not necessarily against just other movies in general?
Other war films?
No.
It's hard because we watched a really good war film this summer called War for the Planet of the Apes.
That's true.
Nolan or
Which
war
borrows a lot of Great Escape. You know, it borrows some World War II stuff, you know.
But as a consumer, I think I always grade movies off the other summer movies. I'm grading it against Wonder Woman. I'm not.
It doesn't even compare.
Critics, you guys are going to go back 10 years to Memento. I'm just grading it off Spider-Man and Wonder Woman.
That's perfectly fair because most people are going to only have that attention span anyway. And that's perfectly fine. I mean, like, for a summer movie, I don't think this holds up. Like, I think you have way more options to
I think there's enough big
good.
Screen power to have this hold up as a summer film.
You think so?
Because of the
I feel like this should have been like a fall or winter movie.
Put that on an IMAX screen with all that sound and all those visuals. It's still a summer film.
You know, even in the trailer, you're looking at it like, I'll see what it's about. But when the sound gets you, you're like, oh, now I know why it was released in the summer.
Yeah.
And then it's in that bunch where like everyone's fighting to try to kind of get in front of the planet, but they're not with Wonder Woman, Spider-Man. They're all 4s.
Hold on. It does not have repeat viewing the way other 4s this summer. Where like I'll watch Wonder Woman again, awesomely. I'll watch Spider-Man again. I ain't gonna watch this again.
But to me, that's one of the things that I have to think about as well. How did I feel after I left this movie? I didn't feel like I saw a really good movie. I don't feel like I saw something that if I had paid $15 to go see it, then I would have gotten my money worth for it. I don't feel like that at all. Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, Planet of the Apes, Baby Driver, absolutely. I could have paid $20 and I would have at least came out there feeling like I saw something worth my time and everything. I feel as though
it's easy to do with military movies. Even Black Hawk Down and Saving Private Ryan, before I saw it, I was like, I'm not seeing it. I was I don't know. Then I saw it. It was good. I loved it.
Because it had the theater.
But I wasn't going to go to the theater to see it again because it was long.
Sure.
And it's the gore, it's the shooting. It's hard to see.
Now, the thing is, with war movies, you know what you're going into most of the time, right? Like, you know it's going to be bloody. You know it's going to be a lot of combat.
Pre-predicting what's going to happen.
You kind of already know that.
This isn't going to be a sunny day.
But it's almost like a slave movie, right? Like, when we know what's going to happen in 12 Years a Slave, right? We know what's going to happen in Birth of a Nation. And at the end of the day, it's not about like, oh man, I'm going to come out there feeling great. Yeah. But you want to know
because you're talking about Spider-Man and it being a pickup. Anyone wanting a pickup shouldn't be coming to this.
No, but to me, it's like, even if I didn't feel emotionally invigorated, I still feel as though I should have seen something that would have been lasting. Well, here, I'm going to forget this movie in like a couple days.
Well, here, I'll even circle back as the teacher who started it all and knew the history. Like, even though I knew the history, I don't think there's enough grab of the story and the implications and the volume of it.
I don't think I learned anything.
Well, no, or to even have this movie be the springboard to go make you want to go to Wikipedia tonight.
Yeah.
Like, is there enough there?
That's usually a very good sign of a historical movie.
Yeah. Like, if I watch a historical movie that I don't know the history of, and it makes me want to go home and go, dang, I need to learn more about that. Like, The Butler for me. I wanted to know the true story of the man in The Butler. You know? And the hard part is when you go find out the true story, the double-edged sort of that is, does the true story hurt with the film of dramatic license you just saw? And I hate The Butler.
We had the same situation with Free State of Jones. Yes. Because that movie was not that good. But the historical stuff in it was like, yo, I need to go look this up.
Right.
I don't want to look this up.
Right.
And it didn't give me enough historical stuff.
Yeah.
Because, kind of like how we were talking about before, is this like a historical movie? Is it a war movie? Am I supposed, like, where am I as the audience supposed to latch on to? It's not
I think
the
for it to be a historical film, you can have composite characters, because every historical film still does, but you need one or two true life. You can go look that man's name up on Wikipedia, and he's the hero of this particular place. Yeah. For example, I'll give you an example. The first officer on the Titanic, Charles Lightoller, he was one of the men who piloted the little ships that went and saved guys at Dunkirk. Let's have Charles Lightoller's story.
Because that's a guy
you can look up from this film who's a name
Yeah.
that you'd have, oh my God, that guy survived the Titanic, and then he's out there in Dunkirk 30 years later. Holy crap, you know?
See, that's kind of messed up. That
Or
your commentary could be more interesting than the facts.
I'll even give you a better story than that.
No,
I'll even give you a better story than
movie.
that. I saw a fantastic documentary, and I'll be fast. I saw a fantastic documentary a year ago. The Irish one of the Irish film festivals in town is called A Doctor's Sword. There's a bartender in Ireland who has a samurai sword over his bar, and the story behind that is he was a Japanese POW who survived the Nagasaki bomb and made it out of the war, and the Japanese officers who let him go at the end gave him the samurai sword, but he survived Dunkirk before becoming a POW out in the Philippines and sent to Japan. Like, he's one of the only known Allied survivors to survive Dunkirk, and then the Pacific theater of the war, and let alone atomic bombing. I mean,
why are we not getting that?
I mean, you get it in a documentary. You know, his grandchildren going back to Japan to find the family who gave him the sword. And, like, great story.
That sounds dope.
Yeah. But, like, if a good historical movie needs an anchor of history, not composite characters.
Yeah.
This movie lacks that too.
Now, could that be because they didn't want you to invest in anyone?
Or is there not one?
Because let's say they did do that, and they did that thing where most historical movies at the end give you, this is what happens after, this is what happens to the
prologue
characters.
of like, so-and-so lived to be 75 after surviving.
If they were to do that in Dunkirk, I wouldn't know who they were talking about.
No. Because there's not any Wikipedia.
Who were they talking about? That was the main guy, right?
But there were no unique stories for us to latch on to.
You would hope that Kenneth Branagh's lead commander is somebody you can go Wikipedia. He's not.
Yeah.
Maybe even I'm trying to think of the gentleman who plays the army guy underneath him. You know. Yeah.
Right.
Kenneth Branagh.
That's the part that hurts me the most because I feel like I should, but I don't.
Or even
I don't.
Tom Hardy's pilot would be a nice guy that you can look up. Like, did he survive Dunkirk
shit,
and then made it through a
Tom
POW
Hardy
camp?
at least
Nobody. Not a guy.
All right, let's wrap this up. So you guys are saying go see it. I'm saying, you know what? You can go see it. First of all, watch the trailer. If the trailer moves you, if you're a Nolan fan, I feel like you're almost compelled to go watch it. But I would only recommend
you'll get the edge of the
low expectations. This movie is not horrible. It is not trash.
But it is not
But damn
great.
it is not a 5-star movie either. And if you go see it, I personally, because I care about your pockets, I say go watch it as a matinee.
Yeah.
That's just me. You know,
go find a big screen.
I don't think this is worth more than like $5. Hey, Marcus Theaters, this is a $5 Tuesday movie, okay?
If this was wintertime,
$6 Sunday morning.
This would be the movie that comes out right before Star Wars, like The Revenant. Everyone's season is okay with it, but then Star Wars comes out, you never think about this again.
This
shouldn't have, arguably shouldn't have came out in the summertime.
Well, but this is Nolan's weekend. This is third week of July. Right. He's released all his Batman films and everything. This is his weekend. He's put the flag on this weekend.
That's
true. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me.
And you didn't want to record before.
I didn't at first because this was just depressing.
This movie doesn't need our help.
It doesn't need our help. All those 5-star freaking reviews.
Man.
All right, y'all. Hey, check this out. We're gonna do some more of these recordings and stuff. I'm pretty sure you already saw my review. If you haven't, E-Man's Movie Reviews. You already know. Just Google it. @E-Man's Reviews for Twitter and Instagram. And definitely go check out Don's work. Movie Classroom is dope. It is something that you will walk away with and learn something. Yeah. Okay. That's Dunkirk. Let me know what you think about it. Hit me up on social media if you want to talk about it because I got some more to say. All right. See you later.